Let's be honest, the human mind is a chaotic mess. Most of us are walking contradictions, pulled between what we want, what we should do, and what we actually do. Freud, that cigar-loving Austrian guy who basically invented psychoanalysis, tried to explain this chaos with three simple concepts: the id, the ego, and the superego. This video isn't just some boring psychology lecture. I'm going to break down how these three parts of your personality mess with your head on a daily basis, and how understanding them can actually help you stop doing dumb stuff you later regret. Let's get into it. The id, your inner cave person. The id is basically your internal toddler on Red Bull. It doesn't care about logic, morals, or consequences. It just wants what it wants: food, sex, sleep, attention, comfort. Now, not tomorrow, not later, now. Freud called this the pleasure principle, the engine of your primitive urges. No filter, no patience. If you've ever had 3 slices of cake when you promised yourself you'd eat clean, yeah, that was your id saying, "Screw it, I want sugar." Ever felt road rage bubbling up, like you want to slam the horn and scream, even though you're late for work and it makes no difference? That's your id again. Raw emotion, zero strategy. And the thing is, the id never grows up. You don't outgrow it. You just get better at keeping it in check. The superego, your inner judge. Now, enter the opposite extreme, the superego. If the id is your inner toddler, the superego is your strict Catholic grandmother. It's made up of all the shoulds and should-nots society, religion, school, and your parents crammed into your brain while you were growing up. Don't lie. Don't cheat. Don't eat that cake, fatty. Think of your health. Don't think dirty thoughts. God is watching. Basically, it's your internal rulebook, operating on the morality principle. It tries to make you feel bad when you cross the line. Guilt, shame, self-loathing. But here's the catch. The superego doesn't always make sense. It's like antivirus software from 1998. Outdated, too sensitive, and constantly interrupting you with alerts. It can become a problem when it gets too loud, too rigid, or just straight up unrealistic. The ego, your mind's negotiator. So, who's stuck in the middle of these two maniacs? The ego. Think of the ego as the overworked manager of your mind. It gets yelled at by the id, "Give me chocolate," and guilt-tripped by the superego, "You fat failure," and still has to make decisions in the real world. The ego works on the reality principle. It tries to get the id's needs met without getting you arrested, dumped, or fired. It's practical. It's realistic. It's the part of you that says, "Okay, let's have one piece of cake and then hit the gym tomorrow." You know that inner voice that says, "Be cool, don't punch your boss, just write that resignation letter later." That's the ego doing conflict management. It's the only part of the mind that actually faces reality, which is why it's always tired. Real-life examples. The inner battle. Let's play out a few scenarios so you really feel how this works. Example 1. Late night scrolling. Id. Let's watch YouTube till 3 a.m. Superego. You have work in the morning. You're irresponsible. Ego. All right, one more video, then I'll go to bed. Example 2. Someone cuts you off in traffic. Id. Chase that bastard down. Superego. You're an adult. Don't act like a lunatic. Ego. Just honk once and keep driving. Example 3. Relationship temptation. Id. Flirt. You're bored. It's exciting. Superego. You're in a committed relationship. Don't betray trust. Ego. This is just the ego test of the day. Time to walk away. We live in this tug-of-war every single day. If your ego is weak, the id or superego will dominate, and that leads to trouble. You either live too wild or too uptight. Balancing act. Why this matters. Freud wasn't just some guy obsessed with repressed sex and childhood trauma. He was trying to map out why we behave like we do, even when it makes no sense. Understanding these three forces helps you spot your patterns. Ever self-sabotaged something good? Probably I'd. Feel constant guilt even when you've done nothing wrong? Superego on overdrive. Overthinking every decision until you're mentally exhausted? Egos drowning in negotiations. Knowing this lets you pause and ask, who's running the show right now? My instincts, my guilt, or my logic? It's not about killing the id or silencing the superego. It's about giving the ego the tools to run the show without constant drama. Wrap up. So, next time you're torn between ordering a triple burger, eating a salad, or fasting altogether, you'll know who's arguing in your head. Freud's id, ego, and superego aren't just old-school psychology jargon. They're the mental framework for understanding your daily chaos. Recognize the voices, strengthen the ego. That's where self-awareness starts. And if this helped you untangle a bit of your mental mess, like the video, subscribe if you're into this kind of deep but real talk. And I'll see you in the next one. Stay sane, or at least know why you're going insane.